Good day, everyone, and welcome to today's podcast. Today, we continue our journey through the Gospel of Matthew by studying Matthew chapter 12. As we have moved through Matthew's Gospel, the opposition against Jesus has steadily increased. In the earlier chapters, people marveled at his teaching and miracles. But now we begin to see a growing divide. Some people believe in him, while others harden their hearts against him. Matthew 12 is a turning point. The religious leaders are no longer merely questioning Jesus, they are actively seeking to destroy him. Yet, in the midst of growing opposition, Jesus reveals who he truly is. He is Lord of the Sabbath, the servant foretold by Isaiah, the one who defeats Satan, the greater Jonah, the greater Solomon, and the one who invites people into the true family of God. This chapter repeatedly asks one important question: what will you do with Jesus? The chapter begins with Jesus and his disciples walking through a field on the Sabbath. Matthew 12, verses 1 to 2. At that time, Jesus went on the Sabbath day through the corn, and his disciples were an hungered, and began to pluck the ears of corn and to eat. But when the Pharisees saw it, they said unto him, Behold, thy disciples do that which is not lawful to do upon the Sabbath day. The Pharisees believed the disciples had violated the Sabbath by picking grain. Jesus answered by reminding them of David eating the consecrated bread and of the priests serving in the temple on the Sabbath. Then he makes an astonishing declaration. Matthew 12, verses 6 to 8. But I say unto you, that in this place is one greater than the temple. But if ye had known what this meaneth, I will have mercy, and not sacrifice, ye would not have condemned the guiltless. For the Son of Man is Lord, even of the Sabbath day. The Sabbath was made for man's good. It was intended to be a blessing and not a burden. The Pharisees had surrounded God's commandment with countless human traditions until they had lost sight of God's heart. Jesus reminds them that mercy is at the center of God's law. The Lord desires compassionate obedience rather than empty religious rule keeping. Next, Jesus enters the synagogue. A man with a withered hand is present. The Pharisees ask whether it is lawful to heal on the Sabbath, not because they care about the man, but because they are looking for an accusation. Jesus responds with a simple illustration. Verses 11 to 12. And he said unto them, What man shall there be among you that shall have one sheep, and it fall into a pit on the Sabbath day? Will he not lay hold on it and lift it out? How much then is a man better than a sheep? Wherefore it is lawful to do well on the Sabbath days. Jesus teaches that compassion never violates God's law. Doing good is always appropriate. He then tells the man in verse 13. Then said he to the man, Stretch forth thine hand. And he stretched it forth, and it was restored whole, like as the other. Notice the contrast. Jesus restores life. The Pharisees respond with hatred. Verse 14. Then the Pharisees went out and held a council against him, how they might destroy him. Instead of rejoicing over a healed man, they planned the death of the one who healed him. This shows how dangerous religious pride can become. Although opposition increases, Jesus does not respond with violence. Matthew explains that his actions fulfilled Isaiah's prophecy. Matthew 12, verses 18 to 21. Behold my servant, whom I have chosen, my beloved, in whom my soul is well pleased. I will put my spirit upon him, and he shall shew judgment to the Gentiles. He shall not strive nor cry, neither shall any man hear his voice in the streets. A bruised reed shall he not break, and smoking flax shall he not quench, till